There you go.
Okay.
Now we're good.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to our planning and zoning meeting tonight. Let's start off with roll call. We have Ruth Ann.
Here.
Here, and Ren. Here. And we have Tommy on Zoom.
Tommy Hoshauer is here.
And that's all we have for tonight, but we do have a quorum at least. Others had things come up, I guess. We won't have them here tonight. Let's go ahead and start off reviewing the minute. I didn't notice anything in the minutes. Did anyone else see anything that may need changed?
Nothing on my side.
Okay, hearing nothing, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Ren. Second
I second.
by Ruth Ann, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, let's see, since Ron isn't here yet, let's go ahead and.
Ron won't be here, Steve.
Okay, Ron won't be here. Oh yeah, he'd be out at,
It canceled till next month. I believe.
till next month. Ron?
Ron Leonard, yeah, they couldn't get the name signed and that, and they wanted to wait till next.
Okay,
So,
so that item is scratched off the agenda, so Steve, pop up and.
so do we have Tommy?
He's on Zoom right now.
Okay, because I don't know what happened to John, but it looks like the doors are working, so.
I think most of you guys were last month. I'm here to present just a project I have planned. It's for a storage unit facility just off of a block east of Main Street. If you can pull it up, I'll kind of talk a little bit more about it. I was working with all reds, making sure all the easements, everything were in place. The center areas, I'll go ahead and step over here. So these are where the buildings obviously are gonna lie. Our easements are gonna be fine, and we're planning on putting a 6-foot security fence all the way around the outside, excluding this piece. That'll be a 3-foot fence, just by city guidelines. All the sewer easements, water drain easements, everything's gonna be sloped properly. And more than anything, I think it's ultimately gonna be a great idea to clean this part of town up. As any of you have drove through there, it is just a weed field, and there's a bunch of trash in there, and people just kind of walk through there and do as they please. So.
And just to orient you, this is 300 East. This is the existing Horrocks building.
Correct.
For Horrocks Engineering was, and this is the property that they owned around it, just to orient you. So you know what's going on. Didn't mean to jump in, but just to get them so they know where they're at.
I like it.
Okay,
And you might point out you planted 2 entrances right there,
Yep.
where those are
Gotcha.
gonna be.
Okay, so this is gonna be the first entrance here. There's gonna be an electronic gate here, and then meeting with Kirby from the city, we're gonna need to put a double swing gate here in case of an emergency to tear anything up. They will have a key and an access to gate right there as they need.
And that won't be for general use of.
Right.
This is an easement, because there's a bunch of storm drains in there in case Kirby's crew needs to get in there and maintain something sometime.
any other concerns from staff?
The only question I have is, how come we have a 3-foot section?
That's due to the city planning. It's facing the city street, so it has to be 3 foot tall.
Cool.
It's in the ordinances, your heights are.
It is, unless it's non-site obscuring, and I think you were planning on doing a slatted fence
Right.
most of the way, so he's gonna drop it to 3 in the front.
Yeah.
If he went with chain link, so it was see-through, then he could go 6, and I may consider that.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody?
And just so you know, there were a lot of storm drains in there, but they got Kirby, they got everything marked, and they have designed this completely around it with the easements that were documented by Horrocks Engineering in their original plans.
You say buildings look a little different than what you originally.
Oh, yeah. Done different. So we had to revise it quite a few times, so.
Yeah, the only question I had additionally was, are you gonna have security cameras monitoring the property?
Yep, absolutely. So if you ever drive through there, there's actually a night light already installed. So that's gonna keep the property illuminated, but we will plan on putting security cameras on each of the corners of the property. So that'll be it, so.
Perfect. That's the concern I had.
Are there parking requirements?
Not in here, so there's not permanent parking. I mean, people would be probably parking in front of you, unloading, unloading, and it's not really made for.
There's not.
For parking vehicles or anything like that. We're not parking RVs or anything
Right.
like this. This is all just inside storage.
Correct.
There's no on-site building, I mean, where are they gonna go to, like an office building for rental purposes or anything like that? I mean, they can
Sure.
park to site or anything like that.
Sure. So it's all gonna be pretty self-sufficient. Everything's gonna be done electronically. There's softwares out there that you book your unit, bring your own lock. We grant you a access code. You enter, exit. If you have any issues, call us on the phone and we get there. So there'll be someone live on site.
Any other questions? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve. I don't see, this is just a site plan approval, right?
Correct. This is like, we haven't gone through the construction documents and buildings permits and all that, but we needed to get the site approval. So he felt comfortable in continuing.
Okay.
And if we're looking at landscaping, they've got landscaping there, works already in that, so we're gonna deal with that. He does plan on blacktopping the interior of this in between the units.
More or less, it's expected to be a very professional looking unit. It's gonna clean that area up nice, and I think it'll be a useful piece for the community as well.
Do you have a motion? I will make a motion to approve since I can do that also.
I will second that motion.
Second by Tommy, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Ren, which way are you?
Aye.
Okay. Looks like everybody approves tonight, and that would be it. So on to the next part.
I believe that's most everything. I do have one I mentioned to you, I would like to cover. Anybody here has not been receiving payment for our meetings.
No, I haven't
He
been.
mentioned he hasn't been, I've received payment.
I haven't, but I would rather not have to put it on my taxes, so I would volunteer to not be paid.
Well, we actually, it's not an option, we need to pay, so.
It's required.
Yeah, if you're not getting paid, if you would get with me, and that to make sure we do, I'll get with Steve, and how about you, Ruth?
I haven't noticed, but I'll look.
Look, and if you haven't been, get with me, and I will get with Brock and make
Okay.
sure that when you have been in attendance, that you've been paid. So,
Yeah, just send me an email with whatever you need, and I'll provide it for you.
okay, yes, sir, yeah, we'll do that, yeah, just the city requires that we pay you for your time sheet.
Yeah, it's in the ordinances that they have to do it, so.
Okay.
That's all I.
Any other business?
Can I just bring this up, maybe just for future use, and it's already been approved, and so it won't affect you. Steve.
Sure.
But, just on future storage rental units, I was reluctant to approve this one because I don't think it's the best use of the city's commercial space. And so is there a way for future ones, to not be within that commercial space?
The only way to do that is for us to change the ordinances. It's an approved use within our ordinances. We would have to go through the process
Is
to,
it though?
yes, it is.
It's basically the definition of a private garage in commercial zones was deemed as storage.
So then, do we change our ordinance to specifically say multiple or single-use storage unit or something different, a storage rental unit for its own classification and move it into a different
Okay,
condition?
We can, but that would take changing the ordinances, which is a public hearing. We have to have it drawn up by the attorney, so it's all legal. And then we have to have a public hearing here and at city council. And then it would need to be voted on in both places.
Just so you're aware, that they have an outfit that is going through the ordinances. So when they do, including, now, once they complete this here going through, it'll have to come into the zoning board here for approval of what they have decided. Once that gets approved, then we'll have to have a public hearing to verify this. And then once that's done, and then it'll have to go to the city council too. So in this, because my personal opinion is that these all ought to be out in one month too. So I'm gonna propose that, and y'all can either accept it or reject it, because we're gonna try and get out of a lot of conditional use, which we started that program. But it's gotta go through this here, and then it will come into you for ratification, whatever y'all want to add or subtract. And that, this is probably gonna, maybe it'll take till spring, but, they sent out that they wanna get down. So anyway, that's what's gonna happen.
I would second that motion as well. I prefer to see more of this in industrial space. I did do some research before coming to this meeting. Some connections that did this in Maricopa County and also Provo City. It does go both ways. They will use commercial property for self-storage. Maricopa County actually likes self-storage as a break between residents and commercial properties. So they do see a positive on it. I just see in Roosevelt City, our commercial property, like we're pretty landlocked. There's not a lot of room. So that's where my preference would be, is to see it more industrial in the towns of the city than in the heart of the city. But going off the standard, it is something that other cities and counties do is have it. So,
Yeah, and I looked through other cities in Utah and their codes just to see what they're doing with their codes and where they're allowing storage units as well. And Vernal's fine with them in commercial zones. North Logan has them in commercial zones. West Valley City, they kick them out in manufacturing zones. And so it's kind of scattered all over us to where they allow the storage units, so.
yeah, the number one thing that I had concerned was on the security side. That's what was brought up from Maricopa County, is that a lot of times the storage units, if they don't have cameras, there's not a lot of traffic going in and out. And so if it isn't being monitored, it can be a great place for illegal activity to happen. But since he's gonna have cameras in there, it'll be a little more comfortable.
Yeah, and I think Steve has pretty secure, unit here, and like I say, it is permitted now, like I say, as we go through these, it'll come in proposed, and if y'all want to change, I'm going to actually try and put it into M1, M2. But that will be ratified by this board, and anything that y'all want, get with me, put in, like I say, conditional use, we're gonna try and limit conditional use, get it more either permitted or unpermitted in that, but this will all have to come to the board here to be. So y'all will have input in this, just so you know in the future, and anything that you won't put in, get with me, and I'll try and get that inserted. And that way, when it comes in, y'all can discuss it, and decide what you.
And that's coming in spring and.
Yeah, it'll be something, I'll give you notice.
They've done things like this before, it can be a long process, just because there are all things, and we already have conflicts as it is, because things got changed, and so that's what they're doing, is trying to get rid of conflicts too.
Right, but y'all will have the final say on what happens, and if you want things put in, because I'm gonna say, it just won't come to you, and we'll approve it in one meeting. I'm gonna say it's gonna be, it's gonna take a couple of meetings to so y'all get input, come back, get a check, Grant's gonna have to approve it, so it'll take a little bit of time, but just be aware, y'all will be able to get your input.
Right. Anything else? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Motion by Ruth Ann,
Second.
second by Ren, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you all for
I
coming.
have a question off the record for you.
Yeah.
Did you buy
You-
this
you
land
told
and
me,
intend to do this?
December,
Or did you
January.
already own the land?
Yeah.
I just was curious, that, been in the